Okay, so a few people have asked me for a more in-depth tutorial on how I make some of the animations that you see on my YouTube channel. Uh, so before I begin, I might as well tell you guys the tools that I use. The first tool I use is called S-Keeper. It's a Blender add-on. I only use this tool to like T-pose the characters that I have. So if you have better ways to T-pose characters, then you don't need this add-on. I also use the Half-Life 2 collection from his animations. I'll put all the download links in the description. But yeah, shout out to his animations for all this. He's made the Half-Life 2 assets possible. You're also going to need the Blender Rococo add-on, and you're going to use that tool. That's what I use to retarget the animation from Endorphin to the characters that I like to install. So let's begin. Let's go ahead and open up Endorphin. I'm just going to use a random scene that I've made in the past. Just going to use Daredevil 3. So before you export, what you're going to need to know is your characters all need to be in T-pose for the first frame and the first frame only. And you're also going to need to use the same character throughout. I like to use the Audio Motion 1 character for all of my animations. Also, another thing that you're going to need, I'm sorry, I already forgot, but you're going to need the Autodesk FBX converter. I'll put a link for the download of this in the description. But this is what you're going to use to export your environments from Endorphin. So if you're just going to do characters, you don't need this. But if you're wanting to export your environments, you're going to need to use this FBX converter here. So first thing you're going to do whenever you're satisfied with the scene is you're going to need to simulate it through. This is just a random scene I made a while back. So that looks good to me. Ending on 720. What you're going to want to make sure is that in the bottom here, the save range is always at 0 before you export. So to export, what we're going to do, if you want to export your environment after simulating, you select it in this bottom left tab here, and then you're going to hit Control E, and you're going to pick a spot wherever you want to save that. I'm going to save it in this folder here. And the type, you need to select FBX 6.0. You're going to click Save, deselect Target Reference Character, and then select OK. And for the characters, you're going to select them after simulating. You're going to hit Control E. And on this, you're going to want to change these to a BVH. I'm just going to name it 1. So it's going to save. You're going to need to select target reference character on this one and click the dots and select your audio motion 1. Change the accuracy to accurate and click OK. Before you click OK, you can make sure that this start frame is at 0. If you did that with your save range and loop range before, you should be good. Okay. The remaining characters you should be able to quickly export because it saves your settings. Now to convert your environment into a usable file that Blender can work with, you're going to open up that FBX converter here. You're going to drag that environment into the left corner here and make sure FBX 2013 or newer is selected. Then you're just going to click convert. And it should open up a file wherever you dragged it from called FBX 2013, and that will have your converted file. I'm just going to go ahead and delete the original. So once you have everything exported, you can minimize Endorphin and open up Blender. Start a new scene, delete everything, and then you're going to go import everything. So click Import, FBX for the environment, go to where you saved it, or go to wherever that converted one is, and there you go. Now for your characters, you're going to go to import motion capture, and then wherever you saved it. Repeat that step for the remaining characters. Now the next thing you want to do is click this top right here, select view, change the end to 5,000, and you're going to zoom out and find your characters. You might need to set it to 10,000 to find them, depending on how far away they are from the center axis. But you can see that mine are in the top right corner here. So you're going to select your characters and scale them down to where they match the environment. I think their feet are right there. That looks good. So once you have it scaled out, you can go ahead and fix your frames here. Go back into Endorphin to find your frames. These ones end at 720, so I'm going to set that as the end frame. Also make sure in the right side, under the output, your frame rate matches whatever you have it set as in Endorphin. So mine is 60 here, so you're going to want to make a copy that there. So once you have your characters and environment in, and once you're ready to add your characters, once you watch the tutorial from his animations that I have in the description, you'll figure out how to import a lot of these Blender or these Half-Life 2 assets. But if you don't want to use the Half-Life 2 library, you can always use the characters from Mixon. And you're going to need to use Mixon, this website anyways, to retarget some of the broken characters in the Half-Life library. But yeah, so let's go ahead and import our characters. I'll import the ones that work first. I know for a fact that all the Combine soldiers work very easily without having to use the S-Keeper add-on or having to use the Mixamo. So what you're going to want to do is you want to drag the asset right into the center, as close to the center as you can get of the world on the axis there. And then you're going to want to have the character facing the same direction as your Endorphin characters. So you can see all my Endorphin characters are facing the left here. I'm going to need to have him match that. So RZ90, hit negative to turn him around. And then we're going to want to put him into T-pose mode. So we're going to select the armature, go up here into pose mode, press 1 to go into the front view, and then press 9 to switch over to the front. Oh, you got to go back into the object mode to hide this. I'm sorry. So go back into object mode and hide whatever objects are in front if you do need to. And then you can reselect the armature and go back into pose mode. So let's select this, and we're just going to manually drag it, put him into T-pose. Good enough for me. Once it's good, you can go back into object mode. This is how I know to keep him in T-pose mode. I mean, there might be easier ways, but this is just how I do it. Go to the right side here, click duplicate, and then on that duplicated one, you're going to click apply. And then you're going to go back into pose mode with the skeleton selected. And then you're going to click pose, apply pose as rest pose. So there you go. Now your character is in T-pose. Now the only thing to do now is to make sure that he is the same size as the other characters. So with the armature selected, I'm going to just zoom up here, and I'm just going to hit G and move him up and kind of guesstimate how much I need to raise him up. So not that big. So let's go back and see. Let's see how good I did. with that guesstimate. That works for me. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the better it is, the less fixing you have to do later. So once he's the right scale, facing the right way, and in T-pose mode, now you can go into the retargeting part. So once you have Rococo installed and everything, you're going to click Rococo, drag it out a little bit, click the retargeting tab. Your source is the animation that you want to be copied onto your target. The target is the character. So source, let's just select the first one. Target will be the combine, because that's the name of the armature on the character. Next thing you're going to do is click build bones list, and you're going to make sure that the auto scale is deselected and the current is selected. All of the valve assets automatically populate this, luckily. But some of the Mixon characters, if you're using those, will have to be manually selected. And there's other tutorials on how to do that. I don't want to get too deep into that. But once you have this filled out and auto scale deselected, current selected, you're good to click retarget animation. And that usually can take up to a minute or two. Once it's done, it snaps your character into place, and it should automatically have the animation saved to it. So if you were to click space, play it through and watch it, looks pretty good. So it's a lot easier if you use the Combine Soldiers, but I'll show you guys some characters that are harder to use. So press Shift F1 to get into the asset library, by the way. I'm going to drag it up. Let's use Alex, because Alex, I know there's a glitch with her where you need to use the S-Keeper add-on. So let's put her in there. Let's rotate her the right direction. And then let's T-pose her. So 1, 9, pose mode. Oh yeah, sometimes you gotta select weird parts to get them into T-pose. Have to play around sometimes with the skeleton. That looks good. So with this one, you'll see where the glitch happens. Object mode, I'm gonna select the mesh, go into the modifier side, hit duplicate, and then you're gonna click apply. Modifier cannot be applied to a mesh with shape keys. So this is where the S-Keeper add-on comes in handy. With the S-Keeper add-on installed, you're going to select your mesh. After duplicating, you're going to click Object, go down to Apply Chosen Modifiers, and then you're going to select the Armature 001, which is the one that you just duplicated. Then you're going to click OK. And there you go. Sometimes it can glitch, but most of the time it's always worked for me. Then from here, you're going to select your armature, and you're going to go back into pose mode, pose, apply poses, rest pose. And there you go. Before we continue, I'm going to go ahead and save my file just in case, because it's crashed on me a few times. When you save, if you use the S-Keeper, it always gives you that glitch, but it disappears and nothing really happens for me. Everything else works fine. So once your character is in, I'm going to scale her up a little bit. I'm just going to guess on this one. Can't be perfect, but looks good enough for me. So I'm going to go to the right side here. I'm going to select Alex EP2 arm, and I'm just going to select the number two character. Build bones list, deselect current, retarget animation, and let's see how this works out. Sweet, looks pretty good. Now to tweak it, if it's like a lot of times the floor, it won't be on the floor, you'll have to move it, but you can just select the armature, press G, and move it into whichever location you want it to be in. So I'm going to put it right there. I'm also going to select the combine and lower him a little bit to where his soles are a little bit through the floor. Let's just play this through and watch it really quick. It looks good. Okay, now I'll show you guys one more broken character, at least, that I know of, and how to fix it. So, another broken character is the classic zombie. And on this one, it requires a lot more work to fix. So let's paste him in, rotate him the correct way, and let's put him into T-pose mode before we do anything else. Select the mesh, duplicate, apply, select that, pose mode, apply pose as rest pose. And there you go. Now on this one, I'll show you the glitch. If you were to try to retarget this classic combines or classic zombie, you'll get a glitch. It doesn't work. And it's because the armature is not recognized by the Rococo add-on. So to fix this, you're going to need to use Mixamo. First thing you do is select your mesh, go to File, Export FBX. Make sure it's limited to the selected objects. Then let's just go to Downloads. I'm going to name this one Zombo. And you're going to Export FBX. Once it's exported, go to Mixamo, click Upload Character in the right side there. You're going to find that file that FBX file you just saved. Sometimes this can take up to 2 minutes. So to orient, you're going to make sure that this character is facing the front. So rotate, rotate, make sure you can see the guts, and click next. Now, move these on the wrist. If you try to move them on the wrist, sometimes it glitches. I'm going to try it and just see how it goes. But let's see. Yeah, I think it's just because it's so thin, it confuses it. It can't really find the mesh. The chin, we'll just put that right there. Groin right there, and click next. Let's see how it goes. If you get the glitch, just move the wrist to his sleeve. Hopefully we don't get the glitch, but if we do, I can show you guys how to fix it. Awesome. It worked for us. There's the character. So then you're going to click next, next, and you're going to find the animation and select T-pose. Don't know why he's facing backwards. So once you select T-pose, it should fix him. Put it the right way. You're going to click download FBX binary, change the FPS to 60 without skin. Or no, you're going to click with skin, sorry. Then you're going to click download. There it is in the download file. T-pose 3, because I've already freaking tried this tutorial like multiple times. So let's go back into here, and we're going to want to import that T-pose. Import FBX, downloads, T-pose 3, import. There it is. We're going to RC 180, make it face the right way. Move it over a little bit. Looks good. Now, if you were going to go into rendered mode, it doesn't save the texture whenever you move it through Mixon mode. So to fix this, you're just going to select the zombie that you already have pasted in, and then you're going to shift click the zombie without the texture. You're going to hit Control L, and then you're going to click Link Materials. Oh wait, shoot, I messed up. Sorry. Hit Control Z. You're actually going to select the dead or the no textured zombie first, and then you're going to shift click the one with the texture. Sorry. Control L, Link Material, and there you go. Now you can actually retarget this armature to the number 3 that you want it to. So let's delete the 3 copy that it made whenever it glitched out. Oh shoot, I just deleted the zombie, my bad. Control Z. Delete the 3 copy. There we go. So select armature, source 3, build. Should automatically fill it for you. If not, then you only have to do it one time and then it'll remember it for the rest of the time. Retarget. And then let's go up there and make sure that everything worked. Uh-oh, what's that about? It's facing the wrong way. Sometimes this can happen, which not good at all, but uh, I feel like we can fix it if we control Z. That is really weird. I don't know why that happened. It probably has to do with Mixalmo being weird and not orienting correctly. But if we just take this character and turn him around and then retarget, let's see if that fixes it. Yeah, that fixed it. That's hilarious. Yeah, looks good too. So yeah, if it does that to where it just flips your character around, just rotate them 180 degrees and it will fix that error. But so yeah, I think that's honestly all there is to it with the Half-Life like character retargeting. A lot of times uh, for the Blender scene, I'll just add materials and just to add the colors, but you just do whatever you want. Always make sure to add a sun in the scene. And that makes it to where whenever you render it, looks better. And if it looks too dark with the sun, you can go over to the world properties, crank it up, however you like. I'm not going to get too deep into the just the Blender side because you can watch. There's a ton of Blender tutorials out there for the beginner side. But yeah, once you're satisfied with your animation, just render it. But this is how you retarget all the Half-Life characters and how to import your environments as well as your characters from Endorphin into Blender. I'll probably be making another tutorial soon on how to do the motion capture or camera tracking that you see some of my animations on. But I know I'm not really good at tutorials, but definitely let me know what I miss and ask me if there's any other questions that you guys have. But yeah, thanks.